In today's program, Thailand to send aid to neighboring Myanmar, police rescue more Thais from forced labor, and a prison break in central Thailand. Details on these headlines and many more coming right up.
Choose your trip to your favorite island with 5-Star Marine. Go to 5starmarinephuket.com.
Happy Friday, everyone, and you're watching Thailand News Today, bringing you the latest headlines in Thailand and beyond. So be sure to subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on the news. And in our first story, Thailand's foreign minister has confirmed reports of his visit to Myanmar last week, saying he discussed humanitarian aid for the country's citizens. Don Paramatvinay said he met with Burmese coup leader Min Aung Hlaing, but did not say what the two discussed, just that the talks were constructive. He told reports that up to 17 tons of relief items are being delivered to Myanmar. Don was quoted saying that the Thai private sector is concerned about the situation in the neighboring country and has collected essential items and sent them to Myanmar. The visit was first reported in Burmese media. A former Thai ambassador to Kazakhstan and Mozambique, who calls himself the, quote, alternative ambassador on Facebook, shared the Thaiger story on the foreign minister's meeting with the military junta in Myanmar and called on the Thai government to be more transparent. The World Anti-Doping Agency has hit Thailand with a number of sanctions over its failure to comply with WADA conditions. The ruling means Thailand cannot host any international football tournaments, and the Thai flag cannot be displayed at such events. The Asian Football Confederation wrote a letter to the Football Association of Thailand saying the FAT can only organize one-off matches, although it can still send national teams and member clubs to play in some overseas competitions. However, the association has been banned from organizing any tournaments, international or domestic, that involve the Thai national team or any of its member clubs. Thai police have worked with their Cambodian counterparts to rescue another 99 Thai nationals working in forced labor conditions in Phnom Penh. It follows the earlier rescue of Thai workers held in similar conditions in the Cambodian border city of Poi Phet. According to a report, the workers were rescued from a fenced-off 3-story building in the Cambodian capital. A Thai deputy national police says officers also arrested a number of Chinese nationals who were allegedly the workers' supervisors. The rescued Thais say they responded to adverts seeking website administrators to talk to customers. However, upon arrival in Phnom Penh, they were instead forced to run phone scams whereby they would call Thai people and persuade them to invest money in fake lending businesses. The victims say if they refused to comply, they would be beaten, detained, and left without food. Some were also held for ransom or sold to other gangs. Another 109 Thais have been rescued from similar circumstances in various Cambodian locations, including Phnom Penh, Poi Phet, and the coastal city of Prasinu. Those workers say they too were conned by fake job ads and were held in slave-like conditions, with their families ordered to pay ransom money. All right, and just a quick break to hear from our sponsor.
Isn't it time for you to come back to the islands? Phuket is open and it's never looked better. Choose your trip to your favorite island with 5-Star Marine. Go to 5starmarinephuket.com.
Thailand may have reopened to international travelers, but the aviation sector continues to struggle as a result of the pandemic. Today, Thai AirAsia announced mass redundancies and extended furlough arrangements for many of its staff. Asia Aviation, the largest shareholder in Thai AirAsia, says the outlook for the aviation sector remains unstable and the company has had no choice but to reduce both its workforce and its fleet. Executive Chairman Thasapon Bejaveld says the fact that reopening policies differ from country to country means revenue on international routes is limited. Thasapon predicts a full recovery for the domestic market by the middle of next year, adding that international flights could see a gradual return to 20 to 30% of 2019 levels. He believes the best case scenario is that by the end of 2022, Thai Air Asia will have resumed half the number of scheduled international flights it had pre-pandemic. In April 2020, the airline joined 6 other airlines in petitioning the government for soft loans to help secure the jobs of over 20,000 workers affected by the first lockdown. However, they did not get a response until the third quarter of 2021, and a number of them, including Air Asia, have not received any assistance from the government. Thai Air Asia is expected to agree to the number of redundancies this week and will make a further announcement to employees next week. The airline is also introducing an early retirement scheme for employees who wish to leave voluntarily. Nearly a dozen inmates climbed through a hole in a holding cell and escaped from the Klongpo temporary prison in the central province of Nakhon Sawan, where they were held as an isolation period before being sent to Nakhon Sawan Central Prison. Officers say the inmates have all been found. Police Major General Rapi Pongsuk Paiboon from Nakhon Sawan Police Station said the prisoners, consisting of 10 Thais and 1 Burmese, were in a quarantine holding room awaiting COVID testing when they managed to escape by climbing up a hole in the ceiling. Everyone went their separate ways after fleeing the building. 5 of them were apprehended quickly after the breakout, while the rest were arrested over the night as they attempted to return to their homes, with the last prisoner nabbed around 2 a.m. yesterday. According to a news source, 8 of the detainees, including the Myanmar national, were arrested on drug accusations, while the other 3 were jailed for theft, fraud, and assaulting a judicial officer. Every year, on the 12th full moon of the lunar calendar, Thais celebrate Loi Krathong, giving thanks to the water goddess by releasing lotus-shaped floating offerings onto the water. Rivers, canals, and other bodies of water are filled with offerings known as krathongs, which are usually made from banana tree trunks and decorated with flowers, leaves, candles, and incense sticks. But today's festivities will be a little different, as the Thai government is advising the public to practice COVID prevention measures like wearing masks and social distancing. But today's festivities will be a little different, as the Thai government is advising the public to practice COVID prevention measures like wearing masks and social distancing. In Bangkok, proof of vaccination or a negative result from an ATK test is required to enter venues approved by the city to hold large Loi Krathong celebrations. While the Loi Krathong festival is intended to pay respect to the water goddess, the modern-day irony is that the Krathongs trash the waterways, and officials have had to spend days cleaning up the debris. For a more environmentally friendly option, the Thai government recommends making krathongs out of bread so that it can double as fish food. Which, by the way, if you haven't yet seen Nadia and Caitlin's excellent video on how to make a krathong, definitely check it out on the Thaiger's YouTube channel. And that wraps up our report for this week. If you enjoyed it, you'll love the videos that just popped up, so check them out to continue watching our other shows. Thailand News Today will be back on Monday. Meanwhile, you're now up to date on the Thaiger.